Yes, people, it's your boy Leon Charles, back with another episode of Mind, Muscle, Hustle. On today's episode, we're going to be catching up with Elliott Reid, chiropractor slash owns his own clinic called Revitalise. Let's go catch up with him and let's go see what he's all about. And today's guest is Elliott Reid. Going to be catching up with Elliott today. I've known Elliott for
how long? Time.
Well, a long time?
Since I was trying to get into bar 24 underage. So 17 years.
Wow, that is a long time.
Obviously your sister I know since we were about 11, 12.
Yeah. Crazy. For people who don't know you, who's Elliott Reid in your own words?
What, professionally or just personally?
Both.
All right.
Both.
Professionally, I'm a pain specialist. So I help people get out of pain. And most of the time it's going to be people in chronic pain. So when they've been in pain for months or years. So it's where the body should have healed itself, but it's not. So then we need to look at why that person is experiencing pain unnecessarily if the area is healed. Or it might be that something is predisposing that area to continue to be inflamed or continue to be damaged. And then I'm also the founder of the Revitalise Clinic. So we've helped over 15,000 people become pain-free, mentally well and physically fit.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're quite busy. We see about 800 to 1,000 appointments a month here. We've got three main services, but then offshoots. So our pain clinic will offshoot into pediatric, children, chronic pain, stroke rehabilitation, cardiac rehabilitation, personal trainers. They fragment into movement, exercise with pain. And then we've got a mental health clinic, which also with specialists in mindfulness. And so we've been going for about 12 years now. And then personally, I'm a very curious person. I love to learn, love to read. I love to take further courses. I'm very interested in mainly the human experience. I think that being a human being with brains the size that we have is a very special, very privileged position, a very privileged perspective to really inquire as to what this thing called life is all about. And I'm very happy to help people on their journey to be more inquisitive, to be able to self-actualize on their journey towards whatever goal they have in life based on their values and based on their nature.
Love that. Wow. Was that pre-scripted or was that straight off the cuff?
Me, man. It's me. You asked me about me. I hope I know myself.
You're an osteopath and owner of Revitalise Clinic.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start your own practice?
I think it was, so there's a couple of things. So when I was 16, I was boxing and I hurt my back. And my mum took me to an osteopath and that kind of planted the seed because the osteopath got me ready for a fight that weekend. And because I'd been interested in health probably since about 8 years old, I was reading books on the body, the mind, certain books which might have towed the line into self-help, but I was really, just like a kid would take apart a bike and put it back together again, I was really interested in what made the body stronger, faster, quicker, same as the mind, probably because my sister was significantly more athletic than me, so I wanted to maybe catch up with her. So since the age of 8, I was already interested, but then I went to study to be an osteopath when I was 18, based on my mum taking me to an osteopath when I was, say, 16, 17, and actually when I was a child as well. Now, what inspired me to open up my own clinic, to be honest, because I'd already started up a very small version of Revitalise before that, where I was, after my first year of uni, doing home visits for sports massage and using what I'd learned at university to help people, I was starting to build a bit of momentum. I really enjoy marketing because I really enjoy psychology. I really like understanding how people think and also how groups of people think, so more social psychology or herd psychology. I used that interest to help me with marketing and I realised that, okay, I can get the word out about what I do and I can use this to grow. So I took at least on a very small clinic to start off with. There's only one room, but we were able to build up to about, I think it was about 2,000 clients. So it was 500 by the time I finished uni, about 2,000 over 4 years from this small shop front, but we were a bit fragmented. So we had personal trainers who were helping people to become stronger working in Bulk's gym, but under the Revitalise brand. We had pain clinicians working in the clinic, and then we were bustling at the seams trying to get everyone in. So I decided to take a bit of a bigger risk and then take over this premises, which was much bigger. Went from I think 150 square foot. No, it must be bigger than that. About 300 square foot premises to an 1,800 square foot premises. It was very stressful, very difficult. But after a lot of work, we were then able to build a clinic where now we're taking on 100 new clients every month. And we built up to about 15 1,000 clients over the course of now in total 12 years.
Brother, that is insane. And I love the fact that you wanted to start the hustle while she was in uni rather than getting the qualification and being like, boom, what do I do now? Where do I start now?
We've all got our own nature, just like we were speaking. Your nature has led you to wanting to give an audience as much entertainment, as much value as possible, interested in media. I think my nature has always been a bit gladiatorial. I've boxed, I like jiu-jitsu, I like to fight. And I think that, so then me stepping into the center of the chaos, I quite like being there. I can't be there too long. And that's where I think it can be very stressful, because when I was doing this place, the stress was all encompassing. It was everywhere. Couldn't really escape it. And that was quite tough. But I do being in the center of the room. From
boxing to business, earning your degree, you've built a diverse skill set. How did these experiences shape your approach to health and performance? So I think it's going to be based on demand and also barriers, right? So for example, when I was studying at university, there were some osteopathic tutors or professors who were very mechanical in their approach to pain, and also very passive in their approach to pain, right? So for example, if you've hurt your knee, if you've hurt your shoulder or your lower back, lay down and I'll fix it. And then I would ask them questions, for example, but why are you mobilizing it when they could mobilize it themselves, right? And they might say, I'm trying to get blood into the area or something like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, that person would get more blood into the area if they did a squat or if they were to run or something like that. I need to know more about movement, and I need to know more about how to coach movement. So then when I graduated, I took a personal training qualification to help people with that. So I can help to inform their rehab a bit more. And also we've got a lot of help at uni from people who specialised in pain science and things like that. But then when I found that, for example, someone could be in pain with really good function. The knee hurts, but they can squat, they can run, they can do all these things. And then you start to realise that their pain is more psychosocial. For example, they don't have knee pain when they're on holiday, but they have knee pain when they're in the office, when they're doing less. The same for the back, neck. So then I decided that I needed to take more training in psychotherapy. So then I did acceptance commitment therapy as a qualification. But I also found that for myself, I was in and out of depression for about 8 years. So I found that by reading more about mental health and knowing the works of different psychologists, I was better empowered over maps of my own mind that I could navigate. And then obviously counselling helped as well. But I think from my experience of pain led me into osteopathy. My experience of mental illness led me into specialising in helping people in pain, especially when they are mentally ill with it, or when it's just another comorbidity that they're suffering with whilst they're in pain. So I think for me, it was demand from the business. The demand of the business encourages me to learn more. The demands of my patients encourage me to learn more. Wicked, wicked. So all that you offer now within Revitalise itself, you've been there and done it yourself and educated yourself on the way to be able to add those sort of skill sets to your business? It's a marriage. So it's probably a marriage between the clinic and my experiences in the clinic and the community's experiences. Mm-hmm. And although I would say that my initial experiences might have instigated how Revitalise first came into being, now it's very much about how we can serve the community as best as possible. And also the clinicians individually do the same thing. We've got Katie, who took a course on her own back to study paediatric osteopathy because she wanted to help children more. David, who's one of our sports therapists, he took a course himself in cardiac and stroke rehabilitation because he saw that there were people that he needed to help, but he wanted more knowledge on how to help them. So yeah, they're definitely multifaceted, and our growth is multifaceted and our development is multifaceted. Yeah. And with the guys that you work with alongside, the new skill sets that they've adopted, do you offer that as an extra service? Yeah, exactly that. As well as... Yeah, exactly that. Their specialities create new services where people know that when they come in here, they're booking into the paediatric clinic, they're booking into the cardiac clinic, not just I'm seeing a sports therapist who happens to also specialise in this. Mm. They're booking for those services specifically. So the qualifications that they've got, have you also got as well? No. I'm the only one who has osteopathy and personal training. There's two of us which have osteopathy and acceptance commitment therapy. My colleague Charlotte, she has osteopathy
acceptance commitment therapy, a level 2 diploma in counselling, and Pilates instructor. So they're all, and what it means is that then when anyone calls and they don't know who to see, I might book a free consultation with them. I might have a chat with them over the phone. And within 5-10 minutes, I know that, oh, you would be best seeing this person. Yeah, same with Charmaine, our physiotherapist. She's got qualifications in pelvic health, Pilates, women's health. Ash, qualifications in chiropractic, balance rehabilitation. Ellie does yoga, as well as, what's the other one that she does? Yeah, is it suspension yoga? The one where I can't remember what it's called now. Can't remember, it'll come to me later. Yeah, everyone's quite diverse in their skill set.
Yeah.
It means that we can just help more people, but also their skills bleed into us.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of group meetings, I can teach other people about acceptance commitment therapy. They can teach me about pelvic health and that kind of stuff.
You describe health as holistic,
Yeah.
not just mechanical.
Yeah.
What does that mean in practical terms?
So you've got two. So the osteopathic philosophy is different to what you call the allopathic philosophy, which is the philosophy of Western medicine. So Western medicine is what you would typically experience if you were to go to an NHS doctor or consultant, or even physiotherapy evolves out of the allopathic model. Now that's more disease specific, and we are more person, patient, or health specific. Now, the disease-specific approach works well if a disease is in isolation. So, for example, if the only reason you're sick is because you've got a bacterial infection or a virus, perfect. But when it comes to things like pain, diabetes, even arguably cancer prevention, mental illness, because that issue is part of that individual's ecosystem, not just one system, but a collection of systems. That's where the osteopathic philosophy will really find its place. But now, and that's holism. So trying to see someone as a whole. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Just for example, as soon as I try and fragment your experience of life, I lose it. You are much more than your individual trades, than your individual interests. You're much greater than your individual family members. You experience life as one experience as a whole. So when you have something which is predisposed by the whole, it's better to treat it as the whole. And I would say that since maybe the mid-1900s, maybe slightly after that, especially since the industrialization of food, since the reduced need to move, a lot of our issues in the UK are massively holistic. It's a combination of how our lack of movement, how our lack of knowledge of our health, our lack of nutritious food, how lonely we are, how isolated we are, how reliant we are on supplementing our health for other things. We supplement conversation with texting. We might supplement, a good example is us growing up, right? It's the same generation. How hard we used to have to work to get a date. It was ridiculous. You'd have to pick up the courage to go and talk to a girl. Then you'd have to win her over. Then you'd have to persuade her to give you her number. Then you'd have to plan somewhere to go together, knowing that if you fail this, you're probably not going to get another date for a little while, unless you're lucky. Now, I think that builds respect, etiquette, poise. I think it values the time that you spend with someone and how you speak to them. If you remove all that friction, you now get fast dating, and a lot of people are unhappy with it. That removement of barriers to entry, that's the removement of fiber from our food, the removal of putting in effort to talk to someone, the removal of daily stresses, physical stresses in our day-to-day life, make us weaker and make us less happy. And I think the UK's got a long way to go in how we balance our technological advancement and our economic advancement with holistic health.
Wicked answer, mate. Wicked answer. Wicked answer. What's something you've had to build rep by rep in your own life?
Oh, everything, I think. I'm not naturally very good at anything. I don't think I'm definitely not naturally. I was awful at boxing. I couldn't even tell my left from my right. Jiu-jitsu, I felt well clumsy. Education, definitely never been the smartest in the room. So I would say that and also I'm just generally, I think I definitely carry, and my sister's the same, our flight-fight response will just go through the roof real quick. So I think I've had to work at everything to calm myself, to work out things methodologically, and be able to put my nature to good use. But I would say the place that I learned that was boxing. I think I lost, out of my first 5 fights, I won the first one, then knew what I was getting into. So I was so nervous for the fights coming after that. I lost the next 3 or 4 fights. But then after that, especially so I was at Brompton ABC, then moved to the Lynn, which is in Camberwell. And I think something just clicked. I had some really good coaches around me at the time as well. Sam Mullins was my coach, who was coaching Chev Clark for his professional career. And he really helped to calm me down, to focus on things methodologically. And boxing really taught me that even in the most dangerous, violent situations, you can experience peace, calm, and you can start to break things down into a methodological manner, which you can continuously improve on. I think also boxing taught me that it's more about your smarts and how intelligent you can be in that situation rather than trying to wing it. And I think that especially the guys that I used to like watching, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones Jr., they look like they're winging it. As in, they look like they're so unorthodox and they're just fighting how they've fought since the day they were born. But you don't realize that these guys have taken hours and hours in the gym to get to that point. So it just really helped me to really slow down, focus on the present moment and just build, each step at a time. Same with work. The amount of people who are in my early career, I could have helped better with knowing the knowledge that I have now, but I wouldn't have got the knowledge that I have now unless I stuck with it. Yeah. It's the same thing for you, man. You must have days where the gym doesn't feel the same, but you know that your worst day today is better than your best day, say 5 years ago or so. I think it's just riding the undulations and having faith in the journey.
I definitely agree with that, mate. There's times, you're right, there is times when I wouldn't say, there's not times where I don't want to be in the gym, because what gets me to the gym is passion.
What do you mean by that?
Motivation doesn't get me to the gym. It's passion that gets me to the gym. But to get where I am with passion that gets me to the gym, I've started at the bottom. For example, there's been days I'm talking back in the day, where I thought I've got to go to the gym. No, I can't bother to go to the gym. And I've made myself go to the gym because that's where discipline's kicked in.
Yeah.
But where I'm so passionate about my work and the whole bodybuilding side of it and what I do, helping other people, it's passion that drives me rather than motivation.
That's really cool. So your passion actually increased over time?
100%.
Ah.
100%. Yeah.
I'd say mine has actually. It's interesting. I didn't even think of it like that. Is that because, why did your passion increase? Because you said you connected it to your work and then...
I'd say it's because it's connected to work, and I feel if I can better myself, I can better my clients.
That's cool.
So
servitude.
Mindset as well. It also helps with my mindset as well.
Yeah.
So, like, I see a lot of guys out there that I know are coaches as well, and they're saying, right, on their socials, they're saying, do this and do that. And I'm thinking, mate, you're telling all these people on your socials to do this. Mate, you don't even fucking do this yourself. I believe in...
walking the walk.
Walking the walk, mate. Yeah. That's what I believe in.
100%.
Walking the walk.
That's true. I think that's where leadership comes from as well. I don't think anyone wants to follow someone who's not doing what they say that you should do.
You've got 2 guys, yeah? One guy's got all the qualifications underneath the sun, but he's got no experience. He hasn't walked the walk. And then you've got a guy that's got not as many qualifications, but he's walked the walk. He's got knowledge. He's got experience. Who would you choose to work with?
Yeah, one with experience. It's interesting, like coming back to psychology, a lot of stories are based on that. So whenever there's a story of I've been to the mountaintop, so that could be Martin Luther King's speech, it could be Moses going up to the top of Mount Sinai. There's that myth, and there's also I've been in the belly of the whale, so like Jonah in the Bible, or for me, right, I've been in the belly of the whale, I've been injured, I've been depressed, I've had it hard, but this is how I built my way up. It's that it tested me to experience.
The thing is, when someone comes to you and they're going through what you've been through, mate, you can help these people.
Yeah.
And that's the same with me with what I do as well.
100%.
I've done the bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I've been on the stage. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And one thing that I took from bodybuilding that helps me with my work today is speaking to clients that have never bodybuilded before, that are working towards getting on the stage, and reassuring them when it comes to that journey towards the stage. Because, like, for example, I've had clients say, Leon, I don't think I'm looking how I should be looking. Why do you think that? Oh, because I've been looking at some other people and looking at their Instagrams of how they're looking. Yeah, but that's not you. You're looking at someone that's been in the game for 10 years.
Yeah.
You've just got into the game.
I think the mindset of bodybuilding must be so difficult because of how self-criticism is almost like a golden thread that runs through it for good and for bad. So it gets people looking fantastic, but it must feel awful at times when you're having to constantly assess yourself in the mirror, assess your leanness, assess your dryness, assess your diet. Like you're constantly having to critique.
And the thing is, people don't see this.
Right.
All people see is the end package. You on the stage, or you in your photo holding your trophy or medal or whatever. They don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes.
It's brutal, man.
They don't see the mood swings because your food is low. The selfishness, what it brings to your family because, say, for example, your wife said to you, Elliot, what should we do tonight? What's the first thing you can think of?
We've got to eat.
There you go. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah.
That's blocked out.
Yeah.
So that's not happening.
Yeah.
If you want to go to eat, no problem at all. Take your Tupperware.
Yeah.
Be that guy sitting at the table eating your own food.
Yeah.
That takes out that.
It's raw, it's proper monarchistic, man.
Yeah.
The closest I can get to it is boxing when we had to cut weight. And I know that I was just not a nice person to be around when I was having to cut weight. People at uni could tell, people at school could tell. I was falling asleep all the time.
Yeah.
I was literally only good for getting in the ring. And it's the same, must be the same with bodybuilding. I wouldn't be a good partner, a good friend. I could only get in the ring and have a fight. But then at least, do you have a blowout? Do you have a blowout after, or do you have to say, okay, fine.
So when you get off that stage, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a blowout. It depends how big the blowout is, how long it will last, if it's a day, 2 days, depending on if you've got other shows coming up, maybe a show the week after or 2 weeks after, or a couple of months down the line.
That must be so hard. The same with boxing, like sometimes you're fighting twice in a day, sometimes you're fighting every week for the next 4 weeks. Rough.
But it's
character building.
It's such a selfish sport.
Bodybuilding
is such a selfish sport. If you're a single guy, as I mentioned on one of my previous podcasts, no problem at all, mate. All you got to worry about is yourself. That's the only person you got to worry about. But yeah, it has a massive ripple effect. And you don't see it because you're in it. It's the people outside of it that see it, that see your mood swings. And I'm not being moody. I'm not. You are.
Yeah.
You are. And you think, all right, maybe I am. Because you're not the only person who said it. There's a few people that have said it.
The selfishness must be synonymous with loneliness as well. Because boxing is such a lonely sport, man. And I can imagine bodybuilding can be quite a lonely sport at times as well.
If you're in a community of other people and you've got friends that bodybuild as well, then I'd say not so much.
Oh, that's all right then.
Not so much.
That's good.
But anyone outside of that bodybuilding world, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Coming out this weekend, we're going to grab something to eat.
Yeah.
Nah, sorry, can't come, mate. But you keep saying this every time we want to see you. We haven't seen you for a few months. Like, sure if it's selfish, man.
Yeah.
It's selfish. Yeah. But the people that are really close to you, they would somewhat understand when it comes to how passionate about what you're actually doing. It comes to the actual bodybuilding itself. Me, my partner, she knows that I'm really passionate about it. I don't cheat. I don't miss meals. I've never fell off my diet when it comes to prep and working towards a bodybuilding competition. But I can imagine if you're with someone that is doing bodybuilding competitions, but is kind of falling off here and there, not sticking to what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Then you're going to create even more friction because your partner's going to be like, hang on a minute, you're punishing us.
Yeah.
But you fucking not even sticking to it yourself. Huh? Yeah. What's going on here?
That's true.
So I think that does help. That definitely helps a lot. Definitely helps a lot. Because I know for a fact, if I was falling off my plan, my missus, the first thing she'd say would be probably something like, oh, should we go and grab something to eat this weekend? No, I can't because of my bodybuilding competition coming up. Yeah, but you fell off the other day, so why can't you fall off this day? Why is it all right for him or her? Or you're going to have that. And then before you know it, turn into an argument. I don't like arguing, mate. I ain't got time for arguments. In my eyes, just a waste of energy.
I agree.
I ain't got time for that. I'd rather do it. Okay, no problem. Cool.
I would say, I think that when I've had to work long hours, or I've had to put more in, or even with jiu-jitsu when I've had to diet and things like that. Because Noosh, my wife, because she was an Olympian, she's a gymnast, or she was a gymnast. I think that helped a bit. I've never, with other people, when I've told them that I can't do this right now, they've pressured me, but Noosh has always understood. But I think it's because of the experience of sacrifice and having to walk the walk.
Yeah. Yeah, her background would definitely have a part of that and help. Helping.
100%.
Yeah, of course. Because at the end of the day, if you're not all in when it comes to working towards your boxing or your bodybuilding competitions, whatever it so be, the person that you're going up against, he's ticking every single box, mate. He's all in. So
I think it feels good to be all in as well.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, you're not distracted.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to jump in and jump out of something.
Yeah.
So
I prefer all in. It feels better emotionally.
100%.
Being all in.
Imagine. I think I could think of like an ice bath. If I can sit in the ice bath for 5 minutes and dedicate myself to sitting in it, it's gonna be much better.
That's one thing I haven't done yet.
It's quite. I meditate a lot, and I found that if I got my mind in the same position or the same state that I would be when I was meditating before I went in there, and it was fine. So my first time I did 5-6 minutes, and most of the time
First time, 5-6 minutes.
yeah, but I think it's because of meditation, because you can just observe the cold rather than being cold. You can, as the cold's kind of like over there, and I'm just watching it.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd be fine, considering like your body must be on fire when you train.
Yeah.
So,
It would help me massively. I know it. I need to do it.
the fact that
I've got to do it.
the fact that you're used to having to be in pain when you're training, I reckon you'd be fine with that as well. It's the same thing.
But I love pain.
You won't get out there.
It's to a certain extent. Pain for me knows that I've worked hard. It feels it's a
Oh,
it's more of a
you need
mental
to tell
thing.
me then.
Obviously, I wouldn't train through. Say, for example, if I had tendonitis or something, like, I wouldn't train through pain like that.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of pain.
We use the term clean pain, dirty pain. So,
Okay,
dirty
so clean pain?
Clean pain would be your body's burning because of how hard you're working.
Yeah.
Clean pain might be an ice bath. Dirty pain is I can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
That's like dirty.
Yeah. I definitely need to try one of them. I need to do it. I've got to do it.
Let me know what you think.
I've got to do it.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. I tried meditating a few times as well before.
Yeah.
I tried a good few times.
Yeah.
And I remember the first couple of times I tried, I was like, I don't think this is working. And then there was just one time, I remember it like it was yesterday, because it's the only time I've ever felt this way. I was meditating, and I come out of meditation, and I stood up. I was like, oh my God, I feel so light. What the hell?
Yes.
It felt like a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah.
I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought, I think I've nailed it. I think all I was doing was breath work, just concentrating on my breaths.
Yes.
Inhale, exhale.
Yeah.
Counting 1,
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. It's a relationship with the self. So the self is, okay, so if we remove your name, your profession, your past, your future, anything you can identify with the ego, the self remains, that you'll constantly be the observer of your own experience. So in acceptance commitment therapy, you'd call that observer as context. It's a very nice place to be. And meditation helps us to undress our ego or undress our perceived self of the burdens of life, where you experience arguably who you truly are. And being connected to that part of us is a very good place to be. It's got very positive associations with mental health, very positive associations with stress relief. But there's a lot of philosophical and theological depths to it as well. So that bliss that a lot of people experience when they meditate, that lightness, that feeling like you're loved or you're held. In Christian texts, that might be called the Holy Spirit. In Sikh texts, that might be called Anand, which means bliss. In Sufism, which is a Muslim sect, they might call it the Beloved. And it's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful place to center yourself in when you are, if you can center yourself in that on your most difficult days, then I think you're gonna have a pretty sweet life. And I think it also shows us how much of life is a narrative. Often once you've got the basics taken care of, do you need more money than you can spend? Do you need a car which is faster than you can drive? Do you need more rooms in your house than you can actually sit in? Do you need more gold than you can actually wear? Do you need more friends than you can actually talk to? All these things start to drip away. I think it gives you a really nice perspective.
I love that. I've been slacking. I haven't done it for a while. I need to get back on it.
Yeah, it's great.
I need
It's the best thing I've done over the last 5 years.
Do you do breathing work as well?
So I do, my meditation has gone from practice to being more centered in religion, in Christianity. So I would say that my meditation is contemplative. I do breath work, but it's via pronouncing like the biblical name of God, Yahweh, but which just means I am. It's just a description, I am. And it just centers in the self. Yeah, so I am, you drop away all the things that you're not. Yeah, so your name could change, your profession could change, clothing could change, all these things, you're not that. So what am I? I am centering you in the presence. So yeah, it's breath work, it's contemplative work, and it's mantra work. That's what I do. So I do that 30 minutes in the morning. I'll do 15 minutes after lunch. I'll do it when I go to bed as well, and I'll just say like a prayer as I'm on my way to work and things like that.
Oh, wicked! Oh, you're fully dedicated. You've got
It's just, but it's only because it introduces me to what I think is, first off, what is most important, what is going to be there throughout my life. It introduces me to love. It introduces me to the deepest parts of who I am. It builds my resilience. And ultimately, if I do go all the way, it introduces me to what I think I'm going to meet when I die, which is when all the world drops away, when I lose everything from my senses to my body, my physical capacity, my mental capacity, my social circle. When all of this drops away, I think I'm going to be left with what I meet every day when I'm in meditation. So it prepares me for the worst and prepares me for the best, but it keeps me centered in who I am.
I know you said you did, was it 30 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes after lunch, and then you say a prayer on the way to work?
I'll say a prayer on the way to work.
I
say a few prayers on the way to work. I'll try and anytime that I've got peace or quiet, then I will try to keep in the mantra. So I'll keep in the present moment. I might keep under my breath, keep pronouncing my mantra. And before I go to bed, I'll say another prayer and I'll meditate myself into sleep. Yeah.
And did you start off with the 30 minutes in the morning, or did it start off as little as 5 minutes?
My journey with Christianity, so I think I had a real, I didn't really grow up in a religious household, spiritual household. But when I was 13, 14, my nana came over from Jamaica and she said, "What church did you go to?" I said, "I don't go to church." She said, "Why not?" And she gave me a book and she said, "Read this." And it was like an introduction to spirituality. And I got into it. I read the Bible. I was going to church. I was baptized and confirmed. And then my friend died when I was 17. I just couldn't understand it. And I think that at that time, I really had the idea of Sky God or Sky Dad, like this God being this entity which is there to do good things. And now I think actually by getting into meditation whilst I was struggling with depression, I started to go to the Sikh temple. I started to read on the Sikh texts, and also I started to meditate with them, and then went back to reading the Bible, and it made a lot more sense. Christ saying the kingdom is within, the kingdom is in the midst of you. You will not say that my kingdom is here or there. So it's not going to be an objective thing that you see. It's something that within you. My kingdom is not of this world. The fact that he used to go for long stretches in isolation, he would pray throughout the night. It made me realize that what he's talking about and what a lot of other religious organizations like the Sikh religion, Sufi Islam, a lot of Hindus, Buddhists, religion is a mystical experience. It's finding the divinity which is within all of us. And it's a real pleasure for me to spend time with you, spend time with the clients that I see on a day-to-day basis, because there is something which predisposed us to meeting, spending time together. There's something that predisposed myself and my clients who are other reflections of divinity who I get to spend time with in the room with them. And it's a real privilege that I get to spend time with them, helping them on their journey to experience what is the ultimate gift, which in my opinion is life itself. None of this had to happen, but it did. Life is something that no matter how hard things get, we would rather have it than not have it. You could be having the worst time and you'll still cling to life. Be in the depths of depression. Most people will still cling to life. Even if they try and stamp out their own life, if they do survive, if they are lucky enough to cling to life after, when they recover, a lot of them will be happy that they did. So I think life is the greatest gift that any of us have got. And it doesn't have to be dressed up in too much. A lot of the time, I think we can get in the way of our experience of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say keep it simple?
I think that...
Don't overcomplicate it?
Well, maybe that, but I think that if people were to really sink into who they are as an experiencee of life, I think a lot of us realise that we don't need as much as we probably think. Considering that Henry VIII would probably trade places with us, knowing what we've got today. So wealth is always relative to other people. It's always relative to time, same as status. So that being the case, it's not concrete. What is concrete? You're concrete. The throne that you sit on. in yourself as the observer of your life and your experience, that's concrete. So why not situate yourself there? And then often you tend to find that the excess things they drop off because you realize that they're not essential.
I definitely agree with that, with things dropping off because they're not essential. I've seen that even with business.
Yes.
From when I first started to where I am now.
Yes.
Trying to do literally absolutely everything.
Yes.
And then realise, I don't really need to be doing that. Prioritise what I do need to be doing and putting the energy into what I do need to be doing rather than just...
But there's something to say about that. You can't give away what you've never had. And it takes knowing that you don't need something to give it away. So I completely agree with that. My perspective of work 10 years ago was completely different to how it is now. And I'm much happier, much more productive, and much truer to myself than I was 10 years ago.
It's like when you try and educate people that are a lot younger than you on your experiences of life. So say, for example, you've got a young 18-year-old and he's talking about, I want to, I don't know, get this watch or I want this car. No, get yourself on the property ladder first. And then the car, the watch, the other nice things will come. But I didn't do that myself. I've done it the other way around. That's why I'm saying to the younger generation now to do it this way.
But then what would you have said if someone told you?
Exactly.
Because you've got to give it away.
So that's why I'll just say it. If it sinks in, it does. If it doesn't, it don't. I won't be pushy about it because I wasn't like that. The message I'm putting across, that's not how I did it.
Fine.
But I'm only putting that message across because I've been there and done it.
Yes.
And that's what I'd advise you to do.
One thing I'm always curious of as well is when people want certain things, if everyone was blind and deaf, would they still want those things? So, for example, if someone couldn't hear or see a Ferrari, would you still want it? If someone couldn't see the Rolex on your wrist, would you still want it? So I think it's in the idea of, do we live true to ourselves or do we live comparatively to other people? And I think that it's difficult to not live comparatively at all, but I think a lot of our aspirations are projections of how we want other people to see us rather than how we see ourselves. I like to think that I would still be doing what I do if no one was watching or if no one heard about it. I think I would still probably dress the way that I dress if no one could see.
It's funny that you said this because it also relates back to another episode of Mind, Muscle, Hustle that I did a few months back. And she was basically saying, with the whole social media side of things now, would there still be as many bodybuilders wanting to compete if social media wasn't there?
That's the beauty of it.
Because you've got the people that are competing because they're at heart, they want to compete. But then on the other side, you've got the people competing just for that picture, that bit of clout, and the social media image.
You're going to take it like that. Fine, got you.
Do you see what I mean?
Which, I don't know, man. I suppose everyone's to their own nature. Some people are really motivated by that kind of thing. But then talking to you, a lot of other bodybuilders, it starts off with almost wanting to conquer themselves rather than conquer the opinions of other people. But some people love the opinions of other people. It really makes their day if someone thinks that they're nice, if someone thinks they're sweet. But I don't know, it's not essential to me. It's not important to me. I want to know that I'm a good person, but I think that I'll start with cleaning up myself first rather than asking people how clean I am.
Because social media just plays a massive part on everything nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally everything just verts back to social media.
100%, man. I downloaded this app called Screen Zen, so I have to wait 30 seconds if I want to open up any social media app, and I'm so much more at peace from having that.
I use a plugin on my Chrome browser, so when I'm on Instagram at home, it's called Undistracted.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything. All I see is my inbox.
Okay.
I don't see no stories. I don't see no notifications. I don't see anything at all. Unless I purposely type in your profile and manually go to your profile. I'll only see it. But if I'm because I could be a sucker for doom scrolling, mate. I ain't got time for that. Before that's 15 minutes wasted. That's 15 minutes could be putting on work.
And the irony of it, once again, is coming back to the ice bath example or the focused bodybuilding example. It feels much better to be focused.
Yes.
You get that gratification in an instant when you're distracted, and then it makes you feel even worse moments later. If you can keep towing that line, it's a much nicer place.
It's like, boom, dopamine hit. And then, poof.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's shit.
Straight back down again. Yeah. But I love being focused, mate. I love being focused. And I can feel when I'm focused. And I'm like, I like this feeling. Yeah. I feel good.
That comes into pain as well. In pain, we might use the term flow state. So people often say that they want their pain to go away, but in reality, they want to get back to flow state. So when people are in pain, they can't stop often thinking about that injured area. So they're almost moving like a robot because they're having to almost crank the gears manually. Whereas when you drive, you know, how many of us have driven and we don't even realise that we've got to the place that we're going to.
Yeah.
So that's flow state. Same as when you're playing sport and you're just watching yourself move. You're not even having to crank the gears, or you don't even have to pull the levers. You're just watching yourself move.
Yeah.
And that is generally, unless we're learning something new, that's generally how we act.
Yeah.
And that's often people in pain, that's where they want to get back to.
And that's called flow state,
good.
yeah?
Flow state,
Mate, there's been many a times I've got to where I've got to my destination, I thought, I just forgot about the last 10 minutes of the drive.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Honestly, man.
I'm like, whoa, that's not good.
But that is also how powerful your unconscious mind is.
Yeah.
That you don't have to crank the gears. I'm even like, so I will try and get to somewhere and I will try and think of how to get there. But then I realise that I'm driving myself there, regardless of how I'm thinking about how I need to get there. And I know if I think harder about getting there, I'll make a mistake. But if I just let my unconscious mind do what it needs to do, and obviously make sure that I'm not a dangerous driver or whatever, then I'm going to get to where I need to get eventually. The unconscious mind is incredible.
It's crazy. Bro, I done it this morning. I was taking my daughter to nursery. I'm driving. Daddy, why have you gone past the turning? Where are you going? I was like, oh shit, oh yeah. Like, all right, let me turn around. Didn't go too far past it. But I was like, oh my God, like, it felt like I was driving while sitting on my phone or doing something completely different.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I
was just driving. I was like, have I just forgot that last couple of minutes of the journey? That's so dangerous. Got my daughter in the car.
Yeah, I'm sure like as soon as someone walks out into the road,
I was thinking,
kick back in
it's wild, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's called flow state, yeah?
It's called flow state, yeah. It's think of, maybe best to think of evolution as from back to front. So the back part of our brain is the part that developed first. That's, for example, sight. So the back of our brain. Then we've got, say, memory, pattern recognition, and then we've got, say, complex thinking, cognition, and consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. If you think of animals with fantastic senses of direction, pigeons, wolves, even say a cat, they don't have that frontal cortex as developed as us, yet they still know where they're going. So it's probably why we don't have to think too hard when it comes to doing things that we're normally used to doing. But flow state is what feels really good. When you're hitting every rep at the gym, everything feels smooth. When essentially, especially for priming for a sports event, that's what you're looking to get into, that you're not achy, you're not painful, you're not having to think about how you do X, Y, and Z, power of repetitions. Yeah, that's what helps people.
How has your boxing background influenced your mindset as a business owner?
I think that hard work beats everything, because just when I first, or even the first few years that I was boxing, I wasn't the fastest or the strongest or the most strategic of thinkers, but I just stuck with it. And I think that I got good eventually. And business is a bit different, because in business, there is a time limit. There is a financial limit. You can't keep making mistakes for too long, because you will just exhaust your initial investment. So you really want to start off therefore small or with a minimal viable product. So you want to really start off in a way where you can continue to lose until you figure it out. And I think that this is a bit different from, it's similar to boxing in some ways. You don't want to keep fighting when you're bad. You want to because you'll get hurt and you could do yourself long-term damage. So you want to take the fights that you know you have a certain likelihood of winning, especially in the early stages, and obviously especially when you turn professional. Now, I think personally, the way that we've been a bit undone is that because we're constantly looking up in business world or in entrepreneurialism, it's very easy to fixate on the big successes. But when you look at the track record of the big successes, they had huge safety nets underneath them before they started. So Steve Jobs, for example, had very early investment. Elon Musk got huge investment from a family friend. Jeff Bezos' stepdad lent him 300 grand in the 1990s. So yeah, that's huge safety nets, right? So like someone like me, nothing. There's no way I could even get near to that. What I have to do is, for example, start up a mobile business, start off in my mum's living room. Don't put too much money into marketing, but experiment to see what works, get a feel from it. that works. Okay, I'm going to invest a bit more than that. It worked better than I thought it would. Okay, I'll put a bit more into that. I think we're running out of space. Okay, let me get this shop front. If I can't cover the overhead straight away and business stays the same, can I survive? Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. Let's continue going through it. So I think like biting off as much as you can chew is a really important thing to do in business, especially if you come from quite humble origins, because there is the propensity to gamble, right? I'm going to be the one that makes it work. I know there's an 80% I know there's an 80% fail rate over 5 years, but I've got a really good idea. I've got a really good work ethic. I'm going to be the one that makes it work. It doesn't always work that way. Look at Jaguar's bet. What's Jaguar done? Jaguar did a complete rebrand, was happy to lose 95% of their customers to go fully electric. They had a very controversial marketing campaign. And then what did the government do? They pulled out their 2030 budget for electric cars, and the individual who ran the marketing campaign and the rebrand has now just stepped down and left. So like, you're talking about a brand which is 100 years old.
Wow.
And they're just knackered from a big bet. So
Yeah, just threw it away overnight. That's wild.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously, at least those guys can go find other jobs. If you're in business and you risk enough where you lose your home, where you lose your family's safety, your safety, it could be years to a decade before you even get back to basics again. So yeah, I just wouldn't do it. If someone's looking to take a big risk, I just wouldn't do it. You're betting more from the perspective of your ego than you are from reality.
How about as a clinician?
How does boxing affect? I would say boxing made me emotionally numb for sure, because it's frightening. Like to go into the ring in front of that many strangers to fight, especially as a child, to fight someone that you've never met before. You have to be either have a high propensity towards risk, danger, chaos, or you have to emotionally numb yourself. And I definitely think I numbed myself. So I couldn't get, when I first started work, why people were so emotional, especially when they're emotional about pain. It's like, you're in pain all the time. Get punched in the face on an everyday pain. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're in pain all the time. So I couldn't understand why people were so emotional. So then I had to then open myself up, look into myself, and definitely take further psychotherapeutic training to become much more empathetic and to learn to be more empathetic. So boxing helped me to become goal orientated, and it really helped me with the mechanics of movement, but I don't think it helped me mentally as a clinician. I had to learn that separately.
And did you have counselling for that?
For boxing or?
Yeah, for
to become more empathetic.
Yeah.
I think that I remember the first conversation I had with my counsellor, brilliant. His name's Tyrone Osborne, psychodynamic counsellor. So he comes from the same lineage as Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud. And I said to him, knowing that, because I'd read a lot on psychodynamic therapy or psychoanalytical therapy, so I knew a bit about the framework. And he said, how can I help you? I said, can I bring to you what it feels like metaphorically or symbolically? So of course, that's his realm. No problem. I said that I feel like my mind is a destructive nightmare, a very messy house. And I have a very small part of that room of a small part of that house where I feel safe. And it's clean and it's tidy and it's bright. But I'm feeling that room is becoming smaller and smaller. And as soon as I step outside that room, there is a 10-foot dark ghoul, like a demon, who wants to kick the shit out of me. And he said, do you know who that is? That ghoul or that demon? I went, no. He went, it's you. And then he said, we need to figure out why you've put it there and what it wants. And it was through him that he helped me to unpack it and to understand it and to break down the boundaries in this house and open it up. And he said to me on the last therapy session, he said, the only thing I ever wanted for you was to be able to see your own mind. And now that I can see my own mind, and obviously meditation helps with this as well, I feel like probably how other people feel, which is that I've almost got these tentacles which can branch out and feel certain things. I can feel how someone in distress is feeling. I can feel glee if I watch something very nice, if I'm in nature, I can feel the lowness of a sad story or a poem or a sad film. And he's definitely given me, it has given me, and he has given me a real great palette of colour, which I can paint my own experience of life with. So that massively helped me. Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. That's, yeah. Like, when you was explaining what you was telling him, you could visualise. I was picturing in my head, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
I think that's how my mind works. That I'm quite visual. So if someone's telling me a story, as you're telling me about the gym and your previous clients, I'm seeing pictures of that as you're talking.
Yeah.
I think that's just generally how I'm.
And how did you overcome that?
In terms of the depression?
Not the depression, as in overcoming the demon.
Yeah. Get to know it. So it might be, for example...
Because it's yourself, right?
Sorry?
The demon was yourself.
Yeah,
so how would you get to know it?
The demon is myself, but then the demon is constructed from many... The demon is, I think, representative of repression. That I've buried things down so deep, so low, that I don't want to open up that door because they're going to come to bite me again. So I have to shut the door, I have to retreat. So now I have to start to bring these things back up. My opinions, my beliefs, my internal narratives, whether that is, it could be anything from negative automatic thoughts, which might stem from experiences that I might have had early in life. They could have stemmed from heartbreak. They could have come from how other people viewed me growing up. Because like for us growing up in Gravesend, there were no black people, hardly any. And then come maybe the time I was maybe like 15 to 18 or more, but then I definitely felt that people would have an opinion on me based on my race. They treated me differently because of my race. I had judgments of me because of my race. Then I probably subdued that. I probably subdued how other people thought of me, how other people treated me. And I had to then start to reason and come to terms with my own philosophy, ways that I could deal with this and ways that I could accept it, and ways that I knew myself better than better than what I thought other people knew me. But it's unpicking it, and you unpick it through conversation. The Socratic questions are great. Okay, think of the Socratic questions are how, what, why, where, when, who. Who is this demon? Okay, so Tyrone said this demon is you. How long has it been there for? Oh, I say it's been there since I was maybe 13, 15. What was happening when you were 13, 15? Okay, these things were happening. How did it make you feel? What did you do about it? And with these Socratic questions, you're building familiarity with past events that might have led you to where you are. And once you see what you fear, often that fear dissipates. So it's doing that over and over again. The psychodynamic framework, I think, really helped with me, which is looking at these things as symbols. What does the father symbolize? What does the mother symbolize? What does the lover symbolize? What does the healer symbolize? All of these things you start to unpack and you create, it's like you open up a map and you get to know yourself. That's how I would say.
Wow.
You stop being lost.
Yeah. And would you say that when you first went to see this guy and you started your sessions, you had to go through the rough before the smooth come?
I think, yeah.
Because when you're unpicking the things, you're thinking of past memories.
There were times where I was
it tough?
really teary during the sessions.
But that's good, right? You're getting it out, right?
Yeah, I think for me it was good, but I think it's a responsibility of, like, even for myself as a pain clinician, I need to know how much pain this person is willing to take to get to where they want to be. So some people, like, if I ache for a day or it gets worse for a bit, I'm fine if I'm getting to where I need to be. Perfect. Other people are so scared of pain, they don't want to experience it at all. Much more difficult to work with. So I think with Tyrone, he probably knew that he could push me. He knew that he could challenge me. Other people might not be comfortable with that, which is absolutely fine. So that's where the therapist will guide you down a path that they know that you can handle. And if you can't handle it, then they need to know how to bring you back as well.
And did he pick this up from speaking to you, or did he ask you before?
I think that, so he would describe himself as relational. So I think everything is relational. So for example, the moment that you speak or interact with someone, a relationship is developing. for good or for bad, for importance or low importance, it doesn't matter. A relationship is developing. And I think throughout that relationship, he just got to know me.
Yeah.
And probably he knew where I'd come from, maybe from my boxing background. It might have been from my experience with work or business that he knew I could take a bit of strain. So if I hadn't gone outside for months, then he's probably going to be a bit different with me.
What have been some of the biggest challenges in growing Revitalise Clinic, and how did you overcome them?
Biggest challenges. So when I was first starting, it was getting people to hear of us, right? So that was for me getting better at marketing to overcome that. So that's where I learned about persuasive writing. I took marketing courses, learned about different touch points and things like that. So I could bring people meaningful messages via mediums that they interact with on a day-to-day basis, whether that's a newspaper, whether that's the leaflets that come through their door, whether that's the messages that they get on Facebook or Instagram, the people that they meet at the gym or at their sports club, the companies that they see on the high street. So that was the biggest barrier to start off with. The second biggest barrier was when I started to take on team members. And the most important thing for me is I need to be able to grow their careers. I need to be able to grow their experience of working in this sector. Because if I'm able to satisfy their ambitions at every step of the way, then I know that we're gonna be on a long journey together. If you stop doing that, then you enter high churn, which where people just come and go. And in this type of business, you can't do that because it's relational. People want to be able to see the person that they saw last time. And also you need enough time with someone to build them into the practitioner, which they can be, brings value to them, but also brings value to the community and brings value to the business as well. So you need time with people. And thankfully we've got a very low churn. I think we've got about a team of about 15 of us and we rarely lose one a year. Yeah, so it's...
Wow, that's very good.
Yeah. So
our
churn rate's quite low. So yeah, so those are the biggest challenges. My next biggest challenge is how do I consolidate what we're doing here whilst we open new clinics via a joint ventureship scheme? Because there's nothing that I haven't done it before. It's going to be completely new to me. My ambition is to have a pain clinic on every high street and to empower osteopaths and other pain clinicians to open up their own clinics with an holistic philosophy that benefits the community. But it's going to be a case of balancing my values and my ambitions as to what I think is good for society with making sure that when it comes to the finance of it, it balances. And that's just the line that I've got to toe, and I've got to just master that balance really.
Why do you believe true health is multifaceted and not just about fixing a mechanical issue?
True health is multifaceted because your experience of life is multifaceted. I'll give you an example, right? So two of the leading correlations to back pain in the UK, or three actually, are high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and depression. Those are the three biggest things. None of them are mechanical, yet they all predispose back pain. Loneliness predisposes pain. Lack of strength predisposes pain. So the only reason why we are reductionist in our analysis of things is because it helps us to understand them. For example, if I needed to be able to understand your whole self, I can break them down into components to understand each part and then bring them together for my own understanding. But they themselves are not separate systems. In osteopathic philosophy, the person is a union of mind, body and spirit. To go towards health should be the objective of the practitioner. Anyone can find disease. So I can be reductionist to find disease. That's not a problem. I could find a tear or a sprain or a painful spot or a nerve issue. But because you don't experience these things in a reductionist manner, I don't think the solution can be reductionist either. The solution has to be holistic. You can be reductionist to some point with the ambition that person is now going to be able to integrate that thing or that injured part into an holistic ecosystem or into a holistic experience of life. But often people need a bit more than that. I'll give an example. Someone hurt their ankle 4 months ago and they can't run on it. Okay, just out of interest, when's the last time that you tried to run on it? Oh, 4 or 5 months ago when I injured it. So they don't actually know that they can't run yet, but they've avoided the running because of the narrative and the association with pain. But now that 4 months has gone by, the area is completely healed, the ligaments are stiff, but the leg is severely atrophied, it's wasted. So they don't have the capacity to do what they wanted to do. So now we've already got trust, which we need to build. We need to integrate that area back into that person's motor systems or their way of moving. We've got the musculoskeletal system which needs to be hypertrophied, and we've also got skills that might need to be relearned as well. And that's just with a simple ankle strain. It's holistic because it needs to be holistic, because that person's experience of themselves is holistic.
Okay.
And holistic and holy all have the same, what's the word? Etymology? The word root, which is to make whole.
Holy.
Yeah, holy is the same thing.
Okay.
So if you want to, whenever you, holy in a religious sense just means to make whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. Holy. Okay. I feel like I've got some gold nuggets from you. Like, this is like an educational session for me as well. I've learned a lot. I'm going to open up a clinic, mate. Over the road. Called a Revitalise Plus.
I better stop talking. These ideas are
It's not charging me all the knowledge. How do you approach treating patients in pain beyond the physical symptoms?
if it's psychosomatic.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a really nice quote by Sigmund Freud, who's like one of the first Western psychologists, which is that the conscious mind is a torch, which if you shine on an unconscious lesion, enables that lesion itself to heal. So often when you're able to guide someone initially down a line of inquiry where you show them that there's more evidence for this being linked to their stress or their mindset or their family situation or being at school than it is the mechanics, that person's own cogs will start to turn when they start to come up with a solution. So that the first thing is what's called health literacy. You increase that person's knowledge of themselves and their health so they can make an informed decision. But you can't do a leading question. You can't lead them into that route. For example, I had a patient whose back pain was only there at school. When do you feel pain? Or when I sit at school? Do you sit at home? Yeah, I sit at home as well. Why do you think that you're in pain at school rather than at home? I don't know, I never thought about it. What do you think of school? I hate it. It's the worst place. Oh, why do you hate it? Because it's an blah, blah, blah. Do you ever find that your emotions are linked to your pain? Now that you say that, I think there is a link. Okay, do you want me to tell you how that link can occur? And yeah, so long story short, pain is a defense mechanism. It defends you against a perceived load that your body can't handle. Anxiety, fear, anger, they are defense mechanisms against someone else or something else. But in the brain, they can bleed together. They can mesh together. So often they become associated. So your fear or your stress or your societal or emotional discomfort can trigger your pain. So then you bring up their health literacy and they might say that makes sense, or they might refute it. They might say, no, I don't think it is that because there's an issue. Okay, fine. Go down a different line of inquiry. But if they're happy with that, then what we'll then do is look at different psychotherapeutic techniques that we can use as part of the pain clinic to help. And if we can't, then we'll, for example, refer to our counsellor here who can help them with more advanced psychotherapeutic techniques. But the psychotherapeutic techniques that we use are often ways of improving self-soothing, self-compassion, self-capacity. So viewing pain maybe sometimes as a bit of a sparring partner, something that you can work with, something that can guide you towards being more resilient. We might also work with distancing, which is what we use with acceptance commitment therapy, psychological flexibility, which is the ability to look at pain and then look at something else, which then gives you the ability to see to pain when it needs to, but when you don't need to see to it, you can hold it whilst you look at something else. And that in itself can have a bit of a diminishing effect on pain. The equivalent of distancing would be the equivalent of you being in a burning building versus being 100 meters from a burning building and looking at it. It's going to be it's obviously bad that the building's on fire, but it's much more comfortable to be outside of it looking at it. And then when it comes to the psychological flexibility, it'd be equivalent of carrying a heavy weight for as long as you need to, and then you put it down and you focus on something else, rather than feeling like you've got to carry it all the time, which is what is the case with people who are fixated or people who are fused to a path psychologically, which is not going to better them.
Would you say that child's pain, the one you mentioned from school, would you say the pain was up here rather than actual physical pain?
All pain is up here because you only experience things through the mind. Right. The only difference really is that you could have a very typical, which would be called a Descartesian model of pain, which is where pain is only linked to the physiological processes that are happening at the site that you feel you're experiencing pain. And then you've got a more, you'd call it a pain gate theory, so it is called a pain gate theory or a psychosomatic pain, which is where, so the pain gate theory is where information is constantly cascading up, but different gates can be opened at different points. So if you have physiological harm, the gate is open here. If that harm goes on for too long, then the gate could be opened in your spinal cord because it's facilitating that pain to go up because it makes it easier for the body to not have to wait for all this physiological stress. But gates can also be opened in the brain where your own stress levels and sense of fear or damage open the gate and they allow that the pain signals to keep on coming up.
Okay, so in her situation or his situation, the cure for that would be speaking about it?
The cure for it would be...
It's not actual physical treatment, is it?
So if physical treatment can help to soothe the person, if they desire treatment, it can help because it empowers them that I'm doing something about this. Someone is helping me with this. The other thing that hands-on treatment can do is signal to the brain that this isn't actually that bad, this moves well, this feels good to move. Be the same thing if you hurt your knee and putting your hands on it. Okay, this actually, you're checking on it, it feels all right, it feels good, feels nice, yeah, everything feels fine. So it's reassurance. But in terms of the psychological element of it, often it's going to be about helping that person to experience greater distance from the stressor, to not let narratives affect them as much. The narratives would often be internal. That, say at school setting, that person doesn't like me, I don't like it here, why can't I do something else? If we can start to affect these narratives, we can start to change the script. And if you change the script, you can change the performance, change what is acting itself out in front of you. So you could even just generalize it as being you're changing the perspective of what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What role do mindset and lifestyle play in recovery and long-term health?
Oh, man, if we go long-term, do you say mindset and...
Mindset
and lifestyle, did you say? So I honestly, man, I think mindset is a single greatest thing that you can have when it comes to long-term health, because we are seeing so many people whose poor health in later life is linked to mindset. They think that health should be a given and they don't need to earn it. They think, so especially when it comes to retired people.
That's big. That's big what you said. Yeah. That
you've got to earn it.
Yeah, you have. And that's the same with the work that I do as well.
You've got to earn it.
You're right. I like that.
As soon as we get people out of immediate pain, the path is the same. Yeah, it's the path we take with them, the path that you take with them. It's the same. Encouragement, building capacity, and that there might just be slightly different biases along the journey, but the journey is the same. I think it partly comes from a Western medical model, which is now a bit outdated because people don't have to move as much as they used to. And also people aren't as active as they used to be. And the foods that people eat aren't as nutritious as they used to be. I think our diet has flipped. Over, 50 years, our diet has gone from being 70 to 80% whole food, natural, to 70 to 80% processed food for a lot of people living in the UK. What we often have to work towards with people, because a lot of these people are, when I use the term depressed, I don't mean clinically depressed. I mean, everything is just low. They don't have a good relationship with effort. They don't have a good relationship with their body. And they don't have a good relationship with discipline because they've been out of retirement or they come to the end of the career, etc. They don't enjoy effort or movement or doing hard things. So it's encouraging that, because anyone who does hard things regularly knows it's actually quite fun to do hard things. So the biggest thing that we see is sarcopenia, which is where you have age-related muscle wastage, which is happening way too early on. So it's about building up not just their strength, but a relationship with effort, and also treating their body as something which hosts their experience of life, and that you should take care of it. If you clean your house, if you clean your car and you make sure it's running well, you probably want to do the same thing for your body as well. So it's just about just building that relationship for them, really, and helping them to build that relationship on their terms.
And this is a massive thing that I say to my clients as well. It's not just about how you look on your physical appearance, it's how you look inside. If your insides are green, but you look good on the outside, that's no good to no one. That's no good at all. You say that these people that you're talking about now come to you when they need help?
Exactly that.
Rather than...
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, completely, but pain is quite a good motivating factor. So if I'm able to look at someone's case history and I can say to them, you're in pain because of what has happened over the last 20 years, or you're not getting better because of what's happened over the last 20 years, then that can be, if I phrase it in the right way, quite a motivating thing for someone. Oh, okay, so I am actually empowered over this if I start making these changes. To make it much more likely to be taken up as a habit change or a lifestyle change, you really have to build it based on their values and based on their desired experience of life. Because one of my greatest epiphanies since working with adults, so since I graduated, is that we as adults, given our own lack of boundaries or lack of people telling us what we need to do and where we need to be, become children really quickly. I don't want to do it. I don't want to eat that. Why should I? Who's making me? It's because that's a class as a super ego in psychology, something which is guiding your behavior as like an internal social pressure. It starts to dwindle away. So that's where it has to be based on their values, what they want from life, who they want to be, who they look up to, and going towards that direction and start to peel off the distractions on the way on that journey going forward. Values are quite solid. Values tend to, from what I've read, values are instated in someone often by the age of about 7 years old, and you have it really throughout your life. And often it's about reconnecting with that.
What's your personal routine for staying sharp physically and mentally?
So I'm an early bird, so I get up about 5:10, and then I will just have a coffee and get to jiu-jitsu or weight training for about 6:30. And then from about 7:45 to 8 a.m, I'll start meditating after a bit of a prayer for 30 minutes. And that really sets up my day. 15 minutes of prayer and meditation at lunch. That really helps me as well. And I'd say that those are the main things that keep me sharp. My diet is massively important. So I'm very whole food, plant-based, I rarely have any animal products in my diet. That's a combination of ethical and for health reasons as well, but I would say increasingly more ethical. So my diet keeps me very sharp as well mentally. I love reading philosophy. I think philosophy is like an instructions manual for a very complicated bit of kit. All of us are born with these brains, but we're never given instructions manual on how to actually work them. So that's where philosophy comes in for me. And I think being around like good people, I'm fortunate enough that the people, my family and my friends, they're all people that I respect and I admire. So spending time speaking to people like you, having good conversations that I'm learning from you, and because I'm talking about things that I might know that might just consolidate things that I've learned. So I'd say that those are the main things that keep me mentally sharp. And my wife is obviously a constant source of peace and comfort. So yeah, all those things.
That's important, right?
Yes, yeah. 100%. Yeah, my wife is, I really like spending time with her.
She don't eat meat?
No, I haven't eaten meat for
Jamaican, you don't eat jerk chicken?
I know.
Bro!
I know. But, so...
What would your nan say, man?
This is the irony of it. My nan, when I went to Jamaica when I was 25, when I was 25, I was kind of flirting with whole food, plant-based diet, but I couldn't. It was the first time I seen my nan in 12 years. So I went to Jamaica, saw her, and I couldn't turn down any meat or anything like that. So I was eating everything.
Was it good?
Have you been to Jamaica?
Yeah, I went last year.
Did you like it?
Unreal. I want to go back.
You should.
Family want to go back this year again.
Yeah.
They want to go back again.
It's a brilliant place.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Everything was just unreal about it.
It's
Loved it.
Brilliant place.
Culture, food,
Yeah.
the people were nice,
Yeah.
the entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, that's life.
Yeah, 100%.
That's life, man.
Yeah, and I think they have a real philosophy of life, which I think that a lot of people could learn from. But
Brother, 100%. Check this. I'm walking down the beach. You got the guys in there trying to sell you whatever they're trying to sell you on the beach. Guys come past. I see him every time I was going on the beach. I'd go for a little walk on the beach. I see him. I'd walk past the same guy. The guy was always smiling, always. And what he's got in his pocket and the clothes he's got on his back is probably all he's got to his name.
Yeah.
But this man was smiling every single day. And it slapped me in the face, a reality check. Made me think of back home, all these little things that we're moaning about, electricity prices and that this is going up in price and just all the little things that we maybe take for granted. And I just see this guy and I thought, man, like, it's not that deep, man.
No, and
it's honestly not that deep.
There's a few.
It was a massive reality check for me. It humbled me there and then on the spot, massively.
There's a few big lessons that I learned, especially going to Jamaica the first few times. One is how hard they work. So you will see someone on a building site, someone farming, someone chopping, someone cleaning from the early morning until late at night. The other is that it's like the idea of liberty or vitality, that is something that you carry within you rather than something that you get from the things that you have. Or other the Rastas are like, the reason why they say I and I is because they see the divinity in you, see divinity in me, or I in God, I in God. The other sat down next to a young man sat down to me. Noosh, my wife was doing like an exhibition there. And he said, how you doing? I went, yeah, not too bad. I said, how are you? He went, yeah, not too bad, a bit tired. I was like, why is that? He went, well, I just finished a 12-hour shift. So I was going to have an hour break. I'm going to start another 12-hour shift. And yeah. And I said, that is a lot of work. He went, yeah, but I need to provide for my wife and my child. Where are you from? I said, the UK. And he went, I heard that you get free electricity and gas there. I went, no, you don't get I said, no, you don't get free electricity and gas. But I said, if you're really struggling, I said, the government will help you out. I was like, how? So they might give you a place to stay. They might give you some money towards gas and electricity. He went, what? He went, are you serious? And he couldn't believe the safety net that we have here. So, yeah, man, I think there's something very special about Jamaica, especially the history of it. I can't think of a nation which has had it as hard as as hard as the ancestors of West Indians and African Americans over such a long period of time. And yet the amount of the cultural explosion that has come from these people is just phenomenal. Jamaica's got a population of 2.5 million people, yet everyone knows about Jamaica. It's just incredible. But yeah, so the irony I was going to say is that when I go back to Jamaica, my auntie Novlet is always cooking and she cooks amazing food. And I didn't want to make it harder for her to say, can you make something different for me? The irony of it is the last time I went there, we were talking about religion. She said, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I went, you don't eat meat? Because the Seventh-day Adventists don't eat meat.
Oh, so she made the meat purposely just for you?
Yeah. So,
No.
so next time now when I go, I'll eat what Lovely eats. Yeah.
Are you gonna say the story though?
No.
You're gonna say, well, last time when we spoke and you made, I was not actually eating meat at the time, but I only ate it because you made it.
I told her.
Oh, you told her.
Like, what?
Yeah.
But obviously, like, the benefit of whole food diet in Jamaica is massive. Like the Rastas are vegan. Rastas don't even, if they're very strict, they won't even add oil or salt, and they won't eat out of plastic containers as well. So yeah, they're proper strict. So yeah, but I've been plant-based for like years now. Yeah.
Beautiful country, mate.
Yeah, lovely.
My time in Jamaica.
Are you Jamaican as well?
Yes.
Yeah?
Recently just found out.
No way.
Yeah, I've just done an ancestry test.
Yes.
I haven't got the results back. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the results to come back.
Yeah.
But I was, because my father's not around, so I was always told that I was West Indian.
Yeah.
So if anyone asks, I'm West Indian,
Yeah.
West Indian.
Yeah.
But I've got a sister.
Yeah.
So my dad has got another daughter with someone else. So that's obviously my sister. And I've recently been in contact with her. And I asked her, I said, I'm doing this ancestry test. Like, I need some names from
Yes.
dad's side of the family, because she still speaks to my dad. And she said to me that she met my dad's dad. And I was like, oh, I thought he was in America, because my mum said that he lives in America. She said, nah, he lives in Ipswich. I said, is he West Indian? And she was like, no, he's Jamaican. He's a little small Jamaican man with a really strong accent.
Oh, you thought West Indian is in west of India, not the West Indies?
No, West Indies, but I didn't think I was actually Jamaican. Like,
okay, fine. Yeah.
Jamaican. I thought it was just more.
But you knew with DJ Guan, you knew.
Yeah, I think that's a
something
sign.
in you, yeah.
That's a sign. That's a sign, man. That's a sign. So, yeah, she said, he's a little, and I went, you sure? 100%.
Yeah.
She was like, yes, Leon. She went, I've met him a couple of times. He's a really nice little man. He's like really small. His accent's really strong.
Yeah.
He's a little Jamaican man. So I'm thinking, mate, I'm Jamaican. I'm actually Jamaican.
Do you know what? Have you asked them what parish you're from in Jamaica? Or?
I didn't got that far yet.
Oh, you should definitely know that.
That's the next question. Yeah, I'm going to ask that.
Do you know the names of of the surnames of your Jamaican families at all?
No.
So
I need to find out.
When you find out, go to Sam Sharp Square in Montego Bay. So Sam Sharp Square is a memorial square for when Samuel Sharp in 1831 led 60,000 African Jamaicans against the British for the liberation of slavery. And for every general, big player in the movement, in the fight during the Baptist War, they wrote their name. Unfortunately, they were all punished very severely, but they wrote their names and their punishments on a huge pyramid outside in Sam Sharp Square. And if you look to the parish that you're from and the surnames of the people that you're related to, you'll probably find your family names on there. Yeah, me and my wife found 5 names on there.
Really?
Yeah. 5 names. So my family are from Portland's beautiful. It's East Jamaica. And then Noosh's family are from St. Thomas, which is also East Jamaica. And my family names are Reid, Curry, Pierce, Rochester, Simpson. Noosh's family are Francis, and we had 5 of them all on there. Yeah. And Jamaica's a small place.
Yeah.
Small place. So when you're getting this many names come up from your parish, it's very likely that you're the descendant of them or you're related to them somehow.
Definitely going to go back there. The only thing I was a bit disappointed with Jamaica, it's my own fault. I like culture. I like to go out and mingle with the locals. I wanted to go gym with the locals and just catch up with them and just see what their day-to-day life's like. We stayed in the grill.
Yeah.
So where we was, you walk outside a hotel, it's just a massive dirt track. There's nowhere around.
The grill's very quiet.
So where I should have stayed was...
Around the resorts is quite quiet.
Montego Bay. I should have stayed at Montego Bay because a lot of tourists go out of the hotel, but where we was, they advised, look, don't go outside the hotel.
I feel like that's a marketing ploy because when me and my wife and by myself as well, travelled Jamaica 7 times. Each time on average about 10 days to 2 weeks there. And we'll rent a car, we'll stay in Airbnbs and we'll go around. And there's no trouble. But I think the resorts will say to you, don't go outside the resort because then they can charge you for an escort or for a date, like an excursion, right? I think Jamaica's got a lot of problems, a lot of it linked to political territory. But for tourists, you never really find a tourist getting into trouble out there.
Me personally, I wouldn't listen to anyone. I'd have just gone out. I'd just gone out myself. But where I was with family, children, I couldn't put them in no kind of predicament being out. And
but
myself, I'm happy. I'll happily walk off
even
myself.
If you get a taxi or something like that.
Yeah, everyone's a taxi driver out there.
Everyone's
a taxi driver.
Another thing that I learned from Jamaica is that no one begs for money, but they'll beg for work.
Yeah.
They'll be like, can I take you anywhere? Can I show you this?
Yeah. Mate, do you know what? That's like, I actually see that as well. I actually see that.
Ethic is
can I take you guys to the? Where is it? Is it Duns River?
Yeah.
Duns River. Can I take you there?
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can we do that? Yeah. Like one of the guys that we met there, he said he went out the hotel. He got in some car. He said, boom, the smell just hit him. He was like cross-eyed driving with this guy. He said they pulled up at some car park and he was saying to himself, I'm fucking done now. And I'm like, what we've got on us is about to go missing. He said he got out of the car. He said, kid you not, these were the nicest people ever. Yeah. The guy said to me, go down there. That's where you'll find everything. He said, I'm going to wait here for you. The man sat there for 4 hours waiting in his car for him to come back from his little day out with his partner.
Yeah.
That's mental, man.
Fantastic place.
He sat there. He thought I was going to come back. The guy would have drove off. He said, I'll come back. And he was still there.
Yeah.
Good day, brother. Everything good, he said?
Yeah. It's wicked.
Got in the car, took him back to the hotel.
No, I love it.
Love that. So yeah,
yeah,
I'd
you try and travel around because where the resorts are, like the Grill has got spots where it's I think the Grill is generally a bit quieter, but there's spots, especially in the hillside. Like my friend, she went to stay with some rusters in the hillside in the Grill where they're taking on walks. You get home cooked food every day, and
that's me.
Food's coming from the land because they eat what they grow. Montego Bay, the resorts are quite far out, but you can situate yourself closer to Montego Bay, central centre of Montego Bay. We love going to the Blue Mountains. They'll pick you up in a 4x4, take you up. We stay at a place called a Lime Tree Farm on a coffee farm, and you go on for walks every day with the dogs. They'll be literally walking, you're hungry, cut some sugar cane down, start eating onto sugar cane, grapefruit straight off the tree, eat that whilst you're walking.
Wow. Come
home in the evening, chill for a bit, looking out at the mountainside, and then in the evening, they'll cook you fresh food straight from the garden. And also, we did the maths. Doing it how we did it, there were 4 of us. It was my sister's and my sister-in-law's first time, and we spent on average £50 a day each.
Really?
For everything. That's including flights. Yeah, because when you're staying at Airbnbs and you're eating local, you don't get this ridiculous charge of the resorts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
If you do
definitely look into
let
that.
me know.
I'm going to hit you up next time I go. I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go. I'm going to tell you where we're going.
Of course.
And then definitely 100%, and I'll just tick them off.
My family live in Kingston, and they do Airbnb. So if you need to novel it, it's such a good cook, and she'll cook for you and all that. So yeah.
Oh, I need. That's one thing that I wanted, just some home cooked Jamaican food.
Yeah.
The food at the hotel, not actually in the hotel, when they had the jerk drum down by the pool, so they was cooking it there.
Nice.
It was nice, but I wanted some home.
Yeah, especially if you eat meat, like you got
and patties as well. Where we was, you couldn't get patties. Right. So I spoke to one of the guys there, got friendly one of the guys.
Yeah.
And he brought me in. I think he brought me in 20 patties, man.
Do you know if they juicy patties or tasties or? Because they're a chain.
I think it was juicy patties.
Yeah, they're a chain. They're great.
He brought. But I think but I wanted to try the KFC out there. Everyone raved about the KFC. They said it's unreal.
Oh my god! My sister and.
Is it good? Nice.
I didn't eat it.
They
were like, it's definitely the best KFC I've had. Anyone who's had it says it's the best KFC they've ever had. But I think that so let's go through a list. So do you try ackee and saltfish? You know.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oxtail.
I've had oxtail before. Did I have it? No, I didn't. No.
Breadfruit?
No.
Bammy?
No.
You've got to go back. You've got to go. There's so many delicious foods, man.
Yeah.
But
I need to get out of the hotel.
Get it locally. Yeah, you'll get it locally. Escovitch fish?
No, but I've had it before.
Okay, sweet.
You'll
get it. I can't wait for you to go back, man. I can't wait for you to go back.
Snapper's my fish out there. Snapper.
Yeah, brilliant. Like, beautiful.
Love snapper. Yeah. Hungry, man.
And that's what they make.
Sorry, do you eat fish then?
No. I try not to. When I was in Jamaica last time, there were some places where I couldn't eat unless I had some. Like, the best I could do is fish. So I had some Escovitch fish, and that was red snapper. That's great, man. It's great. Saltfish fritters. Lovely.
I just love Jamaica. I just love it, man. Just love
Especially
back.
though you're from there.
Yeah. Even more incentive to go back.
100%.
Definitely. And I will go back. I can't wait for these results to come back. I'm going to show you the results when they come back, the answer results.
But also, it'll have your African ancestry in there as well.
Yeah.
And so Noosh had it done as well. Noosh's was really interesting, especially from a European side, because Noosh is half Polish, half Jamaican. So on her mum's side, she had everything from Polish, Portuguese, Ashkenazi, Jewish, Russian, loads. But myself, Noosh, probably yourself as well, the West African countries, you get Mali, Benin, Ghana's a beautiful place, Nigeria, Congo. We had even South African come up as well. It was very, like the slogan in Jamaica is of many one people. Like everyone's just...
Yeah, I'm looking forward to get these results, man.
Yeah, send them over.
And
if you go to Jamaica, let me know and I'll write up an itinerary.
100% I'll let you know, 100%. My family's on me. If I rang my missus now and said, put Ava on the phone, and I said, Ava, where do you want to go on a holiday next? Jamaica, Daddy. Jamaica. Ava, what do they say in Jamaica? Yeah, man. She's so funny. She loved it.
So good.
They loved her so much out there as well. They was just, people were so nice.
I'm very lucky. I feel like it's such a privilege to have roots there. We've got a baby on the way in 5 weeks. I cannot wait.
Come on.
Thank you. But I can't wait to take them to the family and show them around Jamaica. Yeah.
Listen, having kids is life-changing, mate.
Ah,
It's
so I'll get that
best
too.
thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, honestly, it's the best thing ever, man.
Amazing. I'm very
It's the
excited.
best thing ever. You watch when there's a day when you wake up in the morning, you're feeling a bit groggy,
Yeah.
and you look at your little one's face, and they just open their eyes and they're smiling straight away.
Yeah.
Flips your day upside
No
down.
way.
It completely changes how you feel. It's the best thing ever, man.
Can't wait.
Boy or girl?
Not sure. Not
Okay,
sure.
you left
yeah,
it.
Yeah, left it. Yeah. But we'll find out if I knew she said that she wanted to leave. She didn't want to know, so she's got more motivation to meet them to get them out. I'm sure she'll be motivated anyway.
What do you think?
I think a boy. I think I'm a bit biased because I had dreams of a little boy as soon as she told me that she was pregnant. So that's just embedded itself in my mind. But I'm happy either way. You've got the name sorted.
Healthy, yeah. How do you balance being a hands-on clinician with running a business?
I separate my days as best as I can. Today's a bit manic because I've had loads of people call up who are quite desperate, and I don't want to let them down. So today's a little bit abnormal where I'm going to be working quite late with patients. But normally Mondays and Fridays are my long days, Saturday mornings, and then the other days I try and focus as much as I can on the business side of things. But I'm probably going to have to refine that even more, where I don't see people Wednesday and Thursday morning just because I'm always running out of time for things to do. So I'm just going to have to start prioritizing things differently. But truncating my time, or trunking my time, that's the best thing I can do.
Do you have any non-negotiable habits that you believe contribute to your success?
Exercise. I have to exercise. I have to be able to learn. So ironically, these are the things that I was asking myself before I proposed to my wife. I wanted to know, I'm going to get into, hopefully, she says, yes, I'm going to get into this relationship even deeper. What are the things I have to have in my life? And it was work, exercise, and education. Those three things. Just those. Yeah. I could have just those things and I'm happy.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm just good. And I'm sure it'll be the same thing in fatherhood. If I can just make time for these three things, I'm happy. Yeah.
Do you know what? I believe that as well. When I actually think of me and, I'd say so as well. You need
I'm willing to give everything else up.
Yeah,
But I
same.
just keep these three things. And then
Like without one of them, I couldn't almost operate without one of those.
Yeah, because then I know
They all work in hand with each other.
and you know what the negotiables are after that. These things are untouchable. Well, I'll negotiate with everything else.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice before starting Revitalise, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know, man, because I feel like the pain and like the ups and the downs were all part of it. What would I say? I would say that I would say patience, focus on the habit rather than the outcome, or focus on the routine and the discipline rather than the outcome. So I think when you first start a business, very similar to when you first start weight loss or muscle or trying to build muscle, bodybuilding, is you sometimes over monitor things. Whereas really, if you do the same thing every day and you get better at it, it's going to work out eventually. So I think have a bit more faith, focus on the habit and the discipline rather than the immediate outcome. I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
What's next for you, both in business and personally?
So in business, it will be franchising. So my ambition is to open up a pain clinic on every high street. So communities know where to go when they're in pain. They'll be seen by experts who can help them. And obviously the next chapter is going to be being a father, which is going to be my most important title until I die, which is quite humbling and also very exciting prospects. Yeah. To think that nothing else is going to compare to the title of dad or father or whatever, daddy. That's going to be the most important title that I'll have. So it's going to be my most important job. From after 5 weeks, that's my most important job. Yeah. Obviously making sure that my wife is happy, because a happy wife, obviously.
Happy life,
and also happy children as well. I think people, I haven't seen the study, but apparently a few people have told me that there's these studies that show that the greatest correlation to a child's happiness is their mother's happiness. Yeah, I work towards that as well.
I bet you can't wait to take him or her to Jamaica.
I cannot wait. No,
you can't wait. Do you know what? So initially, when we first booked Jamaica, I had to move it because my missus fell pregnant.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. So we had to move it. So I had to move it later on in the year.
Yeah.
Which was a touch anyway, because when we moved later on in the year, it was a lot hotter.
Yeah.
The price come down even more.
Oh, so good.
It wasn't in rainy season. Because when I first booked, I booked half term.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, well, I need someone for the little one to play with. And then I said to my missus, and she was like, Leon, there's going to be kids there regardless of whether it's term or not term. I was like, all right, cool. I just didn't even think of it like that. So changed it. I had to change it. And Willow was, how old was she when she went to Jamaica? She was I want to say 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
She was fresh.
No way.
Yeah, she
Fine on the flight.
Yeah, fine on the flight.
Oh, that
Yeah.
puts things into perspective. So
Yeah.
you go to Jamaica a lot sooner than we thought.
Yeah, she was fine on the flight, mate. She's won next month. She's been to LA.
No way.
She's been on some caravan holidays.
Mad.
She's been to Jamaica. You've got more holidays coming as well. Yeah. She's been to Turkey as well. She went to Turkey this year.
And she had a good time in Jamaica as well.
Yeah,
Oh, she loved it. Yeah.
Loved it.
Oh, man. So she was learning the patois when she was like 2.5, 3.
Oh.
Your eldest.
No, she was 4.
Nice.
3 when she went to Jamaica. Yeah, she loved it, man.
So good.
Daddy, I said to her, hey, what did I say in Jamaica? Yeah, man. Yeah,
So good.
It's one of the little things they'd always say around the pool, like the entertainment, was, where you all guys from? And they'd be, are you from London? Yeah. You're from, I don't know, Edinburgh. You're from Manchester, Portugal, New Zealand. And they said, soon as you step off that plane in Jamaica, you're all from Jamaica. You're Jamaican. You're all Jamaican.
That's why it's so...
It's so welcoming. It's just like, we're all together.
100%.
We're all, it's lovely, man.
I was walking up to my nana's house. I think this is around the time of her funeral, actually. And I was just walking into the house and there was a guy outside. He said, who are you? I was like, I'm Elliott. Whose son are you? Derek. He went, Derek Reid. But yeah, well, you're proper yard, man. Come in then. It was so good.
Can you understand that? Can you understand?
Patois, yeah. Well, patois is, I think the sentence structure of patois is much simpler than the phrases. So what would be a common one? How much for a? Or much fear. So fee for, I think fee might be 2. Things like uno means like plural you. What would be another one? Sometimes a lot of the time the words are shortened or the sentence structure shortened, which is where you might get some patois from. So rather than like, everyone growing up, like, what are you saying? Is what you say. So it's the same thing, like, how are you doing? Or what's going on? Well done. Now, but the phrases are complicated because they're all, a lot of them metaphorical. So rather than move over, it's small up yourself. Or rather than, or like certain phrases like...
Small up yourself.
Yeah, small up yourself. Like it makes sense visually, right?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And a lot of it's quite visual.
Yeah.
Another saying is like, fowl feed in the yard and half a find. It's like a fowl which is fed in your house is never hard to find. So if you keep people sweet, they'll still stay near you. Or like one of my favourites, because it's so reminiscent of my nana, is we are talawa. So we are small, but we are talawa, mighty. We're small, but we're mighty. And there's certain words that come from West Africa. So if you want to eat something, you nyam it. If what would be another word, can't think now.
That's I like that as a quote, man.
What's that? We lick about we talawa.
Yeah.
And it's true for Jamaica. It's 2.5 million people, and everyone knows about them. Proper mighty people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You make him want to go back, man.
Yeah, same.
Out there. Love it out there. What's the one mindset shift you'd want every listener of Mind, Muscle, Hustle to take away from your story?
I'd say to center yourself inwardly rather than outwardly. I think the world moves, but you don't. Just like, for example, if you're watching a story unfold on a play or in a book, you're constantly the reader or the observer of that story. And if I were to watch a film and something bad happens and that's now happening to me, something good happens and that's happening to me, I will be dragged by the emotional undulations of that story. I think the truth is that we're all witnessing our own story unfold. And I know it's a bit cliche of enjoying the journey, but I think that's the only thing that we can do is to sit back, watch yourself, do your best at every point in time, to stay curious, to stay observant. And I think that hopefully, I know I've gained a lot of peace from that, and I hope that your viewers do too.
Love that, man. Brother,
Appreciate it, Leo.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I just want to say thanks for having me down. Come here, man. Love you, man.
It's my pleasure.
Love you, man. It's so good to catch up with you, man. I'm so pleased that what you've got to come as well with business, baby.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's going to completely change your
Might
life.
see you in Jamaica.
For the better.
Might see you in Jamaica.
You will.
Can I say like and subscribe?
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
I just want to say thanks for having me down. Guys, I hope you enjoy this episode with Elliott Reid. Make sure to go follow him on socials. What's your socials, bro?
Elliott John Reid, ELLIOTTJOHN REID. And then we've got Revitalise Clinic as well. It's Revitalise Clinic spelled with a Z, and that's on all of our social media.
And that will be on the screen for you guys to go check out. Honestly, mate, thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.